Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I'm excited to say that the Community Jungle map has seen a significant upgrade on the CTE. DICE, of course, over this last couple of months has been updating and changing this map continuously, but I gotta say that I am blown away by this most recent patch. Look at this map. Look at it. It looks incredible. One thing that I've always loved about this is that it seemed like DICE was trying to bring us our very first true jungle map into Battlefield. Not a jungle-themed one. We've gotten numerous of those throughout the year. Guilin Peaks is a nice example of this. Guilin Peaks looks great. It's clearly jungle-themed. There's a lot of trees out in the distance. It looks like you could be in the middle of a jungle. But gameplay-wise, there isn't a lot of foliage to hide behind. It doesn't actually feel like you're in the middle of a jungle when you're running around. The thing is, though, is that I kind of assumed that they were done adding in any more trees and foliage. I thought they were kind of done with that, but boy, was I wrong. When you're running around in this, you will notice how thick and lush this map truly has become. There is tall grass everywhere where you can hide into that. There are small bushes everywhere. I mean, there is just a ridiculous amount of vegetation on the community-based map, and I could not be happier about it. The side effect of this, though, is that it does slow down the gameplay a little bit. If you run around with your head chopped off, you're trying to be Rambo and pushing extremely hard, eventually it's going to catch up to you. There's a lot of places that the enemy can hide in. Not only the crazy amount of vegetation, but there's also a lot of buildings that they can be sneaky around. And so I find that it does slow down the gameplay a little bit. You have to be a little bit more methodical. It's actually really cool when you're able to just disappear in the trees. There were times when I was getting shot at, I went prone, I saw some bushes, ducked in, regenerated my health, and the enemy had no idea I was there because they weren't able to get the spot off. Even if you are spotted, there is so much vegetation that it's difficult to pinpoint the exact location of an enemy, and so you really do need to take it slow when you are playing the objective. The thing is, though, and one thing that I was initially worried about when I first jumped into this update and saw how lush everything was, while I love how the gameplay is refreshing and you have to think about combat differently, I was worried that it was going to be too chaotic. If an enemy can come out of seemingly nowhere and you can get hit from any different direction, that chaos is going to get frustrating quickly. And if people are constantly dying and they have no way of predicting where the enemy is going to be coming from, that, of course, is going to lessen the enjoyment that people will experience on this community map. People won't want to play it for an extended period of time, and of course they'll just go back to the vanilla maps and this will go out of rotation. That is something that I want to avoid. To DICE's credit, though, it seems like they are accounting for this, and that really just comes down to a lot of the ways that they've balanced out the map. You'll notice that there are a lot of rolling hills. There isn't a lot of just flat open space here. Not only that, but there's a lot of rocks that block the line of sight, and so while, yeah, a guy could be in the bush, there isn't going to be 5,000 different angles that they can hit you from. Basically, if you're going up a hill, there's going to be two large rocks on the left and the right, and you really only have to focus about the foliage directly in front of you. This makes it a lot more manageable when you are pushing on to an objectives. Yes, there are some sections of the map that do need some tweaking. I would say that the lumberyard still gets a little bit too crazy at times. There's just a million different buildings. There's a lot of different hiding spots. But for the most part, I would say that DICE has done a very good job with this so far. I can't wait to see what improvements they make in the next couple of weeks because you know that they're constantly updating it. And I just love the direction that they've been taking with not only the foliage, but also limiting the chaos that comes from it. Another thing I've noticed is that it looks like DICE is making this more of an infantry-focused map and de-emphasizing the role of vehicular warfare. When the map first came out in development, there were a lot of vehicles. Not only was there the 2 transport helicopters, which is still in there, which is good, but there was also, if I remember right, 2 main battle tanks, and there may have also been an LAV in there as well. Like, there was a lot of vehicle warfare. But over this last couple of weeks, over this last couple of months, they've been shrinking the size of the map ever so slowly to the point where it doesn't really take all that long to bounce from one objective to the other. And right now, currently, there's only the transport helicopter, like I mentioned, and an LAV. Of course, there's still going to be jeeps and transport vehicles to get you from point A to point B. But what I really like, and something that I was not expecting to enjoy, is that they have the rib boat here, of course, with the minigun. There were times when I was driving around with this thing and I thought to myself, this could be really cool. If you were driving around with a buddy and they were in the minigun, just kind of scooting in between the objectives, lighting people up with the minigun sounds badass. Sadly, I wasn't able to test this out just yet because I was running solo, but I can imagine some very impressive scenarios where you're in the back of this thing and you are mowing people down with that minigun when they are trying to bounce between the objectives. Like, it just sounds incredible. And so personally, I like that they're focusing more on the infantry combat. I'm someone who doesn't like to get in a vehicle all that much, and so I'm always going to be on board with the idea of having it focus more on infantry gameplay. But don't worry, if you still like to jump in an LAV, you're an amazing LAV driver, you're still gonna have your role on the battlefield. Like, a good LAV driver is going to have a lot of influence here since you're really the only powerhouse vehicle, and so don't worry, it's still there, but it seems like they are focusing more on that infantry-based gameplay. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's little update on the community jungle map. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on it. Are you loving what they're doing so far? Can you not wait to get your hands on this lush jungle warfare? It looks incredible. Do you like what they're doing with the water temple and the new tunnels that they've added on in? Let me know down below. But yeah, guys, until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.